Hey up. Time to take a look at something a little different, I think. Something that I've not already discussed on the channel, or even seen before. Mix it up a little. We're looking at spine number 15, Flavia the Heretic, also known as Flavia the Muslim Nun, and apparently based on a true story. This is a 1974 Italian/French Nunsploitation film, directed by Gianfranco Mingozzi, who, if that name doesn't sound familiar to you, don't worry, doesn't to me either. Looking at his previous work, he's done about 6 films, one of them being this, and the rest, never heard of them. The film also stars Florina Balkan, who, if you're a fan of your giallos and your Italian films, the name might sound familiar. She's been in a few, most notably for me anyway, she was in Fulci's Don't Torture a Duckling. Now we really are mixing things up here today, because this turns out to be, surprisingly, the first Nunsploitation film I've discussed on this channel. Let's see if it's any good, shall we? The film follows a nun called Flavia, who is a little disillusioned with a hypocritical and misogynistic church, and she's a little bit horny. So, with the help of her Jewish friend Abraham, she escapes. Unfortunately though, she is found, brought back, and tortured. Luckily for her though, a Muslim army is raiding her little community that she's a part of. So, she falls for the Muslim leader, and with his help, enacts revenge on all those who've wronged her. But it might not be all she'd hoped for. Now, it may sound like a lot is happening in this film, but this plot is stretched over its 100-minute runtime, and it really doesn't know how to use its time well. I found myself quite bored throughout. Start with the good. It looks pretty decent, some nice camera work here. The acting is fine, and there are 3 moments of violence that really stood out to me as being pretty well made. The nipple bit, the impaling, and the skinning. That's it for the good. The bad is everything in between. I've already said that the pacing is pretty terrible for this, but it really is just long stretches of nothing, punctuated slightly by an interesting-ish scene. And there's a lot of sex in this as well, but it's nothing interesting or creative or different. It is just weirdly intimate close-ups of people's faces. Now, there are some surrealist scenes in this, advertised on the back of the case as Jodorowsky-esque. Now, I don't know if I've mentioned on the channel or not before, but Jodorowsky is one of my favourite directors, El Topo being one of my favourite films. So I got quite excited when I read this. Unfortunately though, the surrealist scenes that are mentioned don't really add much, and they aren't creative, interesting, or even that surreal really. And on top of all this, I can't even say that the film's entertainingly bad or funny, because as I said, the acting and the dubbing is all just serviceable. Shame really. For this review, I watched the only version available on the disc, being the English dub, and yeah, it was fine. The print is excellent though, really clean visuals and nice clear audio. And it's fully uncut, which is always great to see. On the disc itself though, we only actually get 2 special features. We get an interview with Balkan, and we get an interview with somebody called, bear with me, Kat Ellinger, who is just some film critic. Pretty lackluster disc, really. And time for the case. Everything seems good, although I'll struggle to forgive them for using the term Jodorowsky-esque to describe any aspect of this film. Outside of that, it reads well, really bigs the film up as usual. The runtime is spot on to the second, and the reversible sleeve is pretty good. It's another numbered version as well, and once again, quite a high number. I have number 1577. Overall then, for the first Nunsploitation film I've discussed on this channel, it's a bit of a letdown. It's a boring slow burner with little bits of interest but spread through tedium. I wouldn't recommend this film, but if you are going to watch it, this is the way to go. The print on this is excellent and it's fully uncut. Just don't expect much by way of extras. Bit of a letdown this episode. Next episode though, we've got a little special edition one to have a look at. Looks interesting, been looking forward to this one. Looks very sleazy. Next episode, we're going to be checking out Baba Yaga.